Hey there! I wanted to do a little intro to this video since a lot of people have been talking about it, and yeah. So, I ultimately made the decision to make this level many videos, because basically we recorded a bunch of stuff in the span of 3 days. We recorded over 20 hours worth, or just short, I can't remember exactly. And I knew going into this that I would be ridiculously busy all of October and November. And that was true. There have been very few days where I've actually had time to record and stream and stuff. So yeah, I went into this being like, okay, this is gonna be, this is gonna be a time where I can do things. And like I have content to put out there if I can't actually record anymore. So that was always a really good thing for me. Because of that, I could have made the Emballism challenge a couple of hour-long videos, but I thought that, one, I deserved the 10 days off that I get from the insanity that we had, and also I thought that the commentary itself was really solid. For the entire 3 hours it took us, it wasn't boring. We kept talking about loads and loads of different things. I think if you came into this expecting the greatest gameplay you've ever seen, that was a massive mistake, because that's not what you're gonna get, and never was that gonna be a thing. I've been requested this many times over the years, once every couple of weeks, and I assumed the reason for that was because people knew we would suffer, or I would suffer, and I'm glad that I did this series with Emil, because ultimately, what would have happened if it was single player is it would have been me being silent for almost all of a certain attempt and then getting really pissed off, and that's not entertaining. That's just work for me, the person playing, and you, the viewer. It's gonna be stressful and irritating to watch, and that's not what you want. Whereas in this scenario, we're actually bouncing off each other and having a really fun, different conversations, and we're actually making it entertaining. So I think that's why it's fine. There is a challenge later on that breaks us quite a bit. That was going to be made into multiple videos. I've decided to make it instead of the 15-minute videos, 3 hour-long videos or something like that, just to make it easier for you guys, because clearly some of you don't want this, and with those, I think it was less entertaining anyway. Yeah, I think with challenges like this, just start treating it as a podcast. I think a good example is Game Grumps. I don't know anyone in the universe who watches them for their gameplay. Usually, they're not good at games. If it's something like Mario Party or Monopoly or whatever, fair enough, you're watching to see someone get screwed over. But if it's like a platformer, no. You're watching for the humour that comes out of their mouths, and why is this any different, I feel like that's typically the case with most people you watch with gameplay. Unless it's a brand new game and you want to see the game, surely you're following for the personality and not the gameplay. So, well, that's what I follow for, at least. I assume other people do as well. Maybe I'm wrong. Another thing I want to mention is that this game is being played on a PS3, and the PAL version on PS3 is running at 120% speed, meaning that essentially things are moving a lot faster than it normally would be, and also this goes in tangent with the challenge we suffer in later, where it's a 1.5 minute gem challenge to hit a certain amount of points in a minute and a half. We actually have 1 minute and 5 seconds. We are losing 5 seconds every 20 seconds or so, or something to that effect, or it's something like that. So yeah, essentially we're losing so much time in the challenges where you have a time crunch, and in these kind of challenges, things are just moving way faster than normal. So it's throwing us off. It's not easy. And in many ways, single mode would be easier, especially for something like this, because they wouldn't just be going for us. In this, the other team is gunning for us, and they are very accurate. In single player, they would be going. Everyone will be going for everyone, and therefore, I'm actually less likely to be a target in that regard. I would actually be able to hold my own quite well, I would imagine. So I think that there's a lot of things that make this harder, and there's a lot of things that, unbeknownst to us when we booted it up on the PS3, it made it really way harder. So yeah, we're basically against a stacked deck. We are very screwed over by the AI and the game itself. But I really enjoyed the playthrough, and I hope that you've all really enjoyed it as well. And yeah, I just wanted to make this little intro so that you could at least understand where I was coming from in the way I edited it, and what's actually going on in the game, because it's probably not noticeable what's going on just by watching. And yeah, just yeah. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this series so far, and yeah, it's gonna get harder. Enjoy!
I hope nobody's been making a death count for this series.
Oh man, I really hope someone has.
They won't.
I might put at the beginning, someone do a fail count. Like, just in the beginning of the first episode.
Then
like,
all the comments will be a fail count.
Like,
does someone, like, assert their dominance as the fail counter
it's
in it?
usually Luminant Gaming. Luminant's good at it. If Luminant actually wants to do it, though, because this is a hideous undertaking.
Yeah, you'll be counting and counting and counting.
I mean, our fails has got to be in the 200s by now, right?
I mean, what's the point of watching us fail again and again and again if you aren't even going to count it?
We've got to be in the 200s by now. Not in this game
just
alone.
This level alone.
Yeah, I mean just overall, but we've got to be. If we're not, I'd be surprised. Oh, God damn. We've both gotten worse.
Yeah. Our brains are not... what's the word?
I don't know. I've got a hair in my eye.
Oh, that's not good. Just let a million in. How many did they let in? 1, 2?
Something like that.
That's like how many I've got left.
That's 12. You don't... They're not separate numbers. It's 1T2. Have I talked about that enough?
What?
That fucking asshole.
What?
Is it time for another rant?
Yes, it is.
So, in year 6, so we're 11 at this point, we've been learning, like, extremely, like, basic algebra. And then our school brings in this fucking clown who is like, 1 cup plus 2 cups is 3 cups. Like, yeah, we can do like long division. Like, what are you, like, all of us, even those who aren't the strongest at maths, can do this. Like, why are you telling us that? It's like, and I think we don't need to see 10 and 11, 12. 1T, 1T1, 1T2. Like, do you know what you're saying? Like, 1T isn't a word. And like he talks for an hour, and I'm just here like, and I pray to God the teachers are like, no, why did we bring him in?
Is it time I tell the world about? I don't know if I should name him. Was a teacher?
Don't name him.
Huh?
Don't name names.
No, okay.
But by all means, tell the story.
Let's call him, for the sake of the story,
His actual name.
Mr. Badger.
Okay.
He was a maths teacher, right? We were top set maths. And we were like, oh cool, like I wonder what maths teacher we're gonna have. Oh, you've got Mr. Badger today, guys. Oh, Mr. Badger is our teacher for the year. He spent like the first 2 lessons teaching us how to play bridge. For no reason other than he loves bridge.
Right.
The card game bridge.
Yes.
And basically, he was a paedophile.
Oh, okay.
He was quite young. He was quite a young teacher. and a lot of the girls were frightened of him because apparently he was often looking under desks and things, and everybody hated him. And one time he was trying to get the class to be quiet. He was stood at the whiteboard at the front, and he had his arms up in like so he was spread out like an X, basically.
Right.
Like a flayed man, but not on any wood. And he was like pivoting on one foot, like round 180 degrees, going down from 5. And we were supposed to be like, he never said it, but I think the meaning was that we were supposed to be quiet by the time he got to 0. But everyone was just like, what is he doing? What the heck is he doing?
I mean, it technically worked, right?
Yeah, I guess. We were all kind of in shock. Basically, he was our teacher for 2 weeks, and then...
He got arrested?
No, they decided he was doing such a bad job that they gave us a new teacher.
Oh, thank Christ.
Because as top set maths...
Did he get fired or arrested?
And this was GCSE years, so we needed to learn stuff.
Yeah.
No, he didn't get fired. He was never...
What?
Yeah.
Convicted.
But he, not so long ago, died.
Oh.
And basically what happened... He was a... Ooh, if I reveal too much information about him, are people going to... No, they don't know what school I went to.
No.
He was a juggler, like a competitive juggler.
Okay.
And he ran a juggling club at school, which is kind of a bit creepy.
Okay. Okay.
And he died because he was on... he was kind of living in essentially a squat.
Right.
With some, like, very young people.
Right.
Like, I think, like... I mean, not necessarily emancipated minors, but they were quite young to be living away from home, you know?
Yeah.
And he fell off a balcony.
What?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
I always wondered if something more happened there.
That's not a nice way to go.
Is that too much information?
I doubt it. I mean, I doubt it. You'd have to really know a lot already to get anything from that. But that reminds me of well, not that much of that. It was more the clock thing. I was talking to Callum in a class, and I can't remember. I think like our ethics teacher was gone, so we had our form tutor, who was instead, and he was a lovely man, but he was very like just weird. I think it was more his style of humor was kind of memey without knowing memes.
Yeah.
But like ahead of its time kind of memes. So like no one really found it funny, or like no one really got it, if that makes sense, except for like a choice few.
Oh, we had one like that. Good old Barry.
But he can't actually remember his name, annoyingly. But like he was talking about the bailiffs of the island, and like he had a newspaper showing them all.
So for those who don't know, those are basically like the people who run the. Yeah. Jersey has a different political system to the
They have a different bailiff per parish, I believe, or different leader per parish, or like the head of each parish. So yeah, he was basically, they had all their faces on the newspaper and he was showing us all. And me and Callum were sort of talking, and I was just talking to Callum, and I think Callum knew that he was like trying to get me to shut up. And he told me to shut up a couple of times apparently, and I just did not hear him. And at one point he was just like, "Teal, show me the picture. Look at your masters." I was like, "What? What? What is this?" It just made me laugh. It was amazing.
You got to start in the corner, man.
It was very funny. I was very confused. But it was just, it was very, like, his humor was great.
Yeah.
But like I didn't really, it was so pre-meme, like it didn't really sink in until like over time. I was like, oh, actually that was what he was saying. It's actually pretty good.
We had one like that in college. He was called Barry, and he was like middle-aged, and he was like half dad jokes, half kind of pre-memes, and every time he read out the the register, he would be saying like everyone's names in a really stupid way. I can't get it out of my head. There was like in the register there was someone called Sarah, and then straight after there was someone called Sophie. Every single time he'd be like Sahara, Sophie, and every time she would be rolling her eyes like, just say, Barry, what are you doing? And one time he spent a whole lesson photoshopping my face onto various Marvel characters because he said I look like Thor.
That's awesome. I embarrassed myself at work. I was trying to.
Why would that?
I was trying to make a sale, and I did actually. To be fair, I did sell it, and I sold it. It was like they were gonna get loads of like glassware stuff, and there was they wanted a collection where it had like a set of tumblers and a set of jugs as well, and I said like my little Mimi brain like to this
my little Mimi
to these like 30-year-old people, I was just like, oh, it's got 4 tumblers, 3 wine glasses, 2 jugs, a partridge in a pear tree, and like they just didn't laugh or look at me in disgust. I was like, never mind. Anyway, it's got they didn't find it funny. I thought it was silly. They did not think so, but they bought 2 of them, so you know.
They were like, they got it home and they're like, where's this partridge? I bought this partridge.
So, you know, it worked out in the end, I guess. But, like, that's what I do at work. I make little jokes, and no one finds them funny. And it's great.
So, this teacher that we had, this maths teacher, after Mr. Badger, we had another teacher, and she was an older teacher. And, it was so funny, right? Because, they gradually introduced, like, the old teachers would be using MacBooks to do like the register, and just for general they would just have them, and she didn't know how to use computers basically, so we had the like absolute pleasure of watching her slowly learn how to use the computer.
Oh man.
And it was so nice, and she would freak out every time the screensaver went on, like, oh no, what's happening? Yeah. Like, oh, that's the screensavers because you didn't move the mouse. And she's like, how do I make it stop? And we're like, move the mouse. And she's like, oh, you fixed it. We're like, and one time she went out of the class to do something in one of the other rooms, which was on the computer. And so basically we were just all talking. And then she just ran in like 5 minutes later. Well, probably like 10 minutes later. And we were like, everyone was just quiet. And she ran in all excited. She was like, guys, I just figured something out. We were like, what? And she's like, you don't have to close a window. You can just minimize it.
Oh,
she'd been
that's
closing
so sweet.
everything when she wanted to open something new.
That's
and
so
she was
sweet.
so excited to find out.
That's so lovely.
It was really sweet, yeah.
That's someone at work. Like,
You
it's
got
like
it?
I was like, how do you move this folder into another folder? Click it.
Yeah, and you
drag
put
it
in.
Put it in. Is it there now? Is it in there? It's like, yeah.
It's
go
always
there. Check it.
It's always
like,
funny
you've
when
got a
you,
stare.
when you teach someone.
How do you do that?
as-
Just drag it.
yeah, when you teach someone something new about a computer, like anyone,
Yeah.
because nobody knows everything. Well, maybe you know what? Some people probably do know everything about computers. But I remember in college, you know, Windows Explorer.
Yes.
And he was like, oh, I wish I could have 2 of these open. And I was like, and he was like, but when I click it, it just goes to this one. I was like, dude, right click,
Yeah.
open in new window. He's like, he just looked at me like I'd walked on water. He gave me a massive hug, and he was like, you've changed my life. And like, I know very little about computers, so
Yeah.
for me to get that moment was really something special. Was that slow down there? Did you feel that?
I don't know.
Or did my brain just...
I don't know. My brain's shutting down, man. Oh. Please let this end. No. It's going very badly. Oh, it's going very badly for me. No, I'm out, I'm sorry.
I may have killed you.
No, it wasn't you. I went for a shield and it disappeared. I realised my mistake too. Ah!
Oh my god! We're gonna die here. Our skeletons are gonna be in these little bumper car things.
The skeleton will lie in the chamber forever.
Exactly.
Temmie. Festy, kick it in.
We're gonna do it, man. We're gonna do it. We've got to. There's no way we can be beaten by this little challenge.
Don't let it go to your head, young trainer. The road is long and filled with danger.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever you just said.
It's a Pokemon song. Like it's like a Pikachu rap, but like at the end of one of the movies.
Catch 'em, gotta catch 'em all.
A different
gotta
one.
catch 'em all. Oh boy, I'm doing very bad.
We all are.
Every time I look at my score, I let one in.
Look at the score, I can tell you.
You've got this, man. You can do this. Teal, he's our man. If he can't do it, I'm gonna kill him.
Oh. Oh dear. Oh, I didn't even get the shield. I thought I had it.
Did you know your dad threatened me yesterday?
No.
He was telling me that they still have the death sentence in Jersey, and civilian families can practice it as they choose.
I did not know that. Good to know.
That was crazy though. He said apparently you guys still have the death sentence, but it has to be approved by the monarch, and it just never does. So you have it in writing, but you don't really have it.
Yeah. I didn't know that, but good.
You didn't know that and you live here.
Yeah, well, that's not something I ask around, okay?
So guys,
can I
were to
lynch
do this
someone
thing,
today?
would I be sentenced to death?